Well, we're back with Kelly Trottier, NAMI Amador, NAMI, capital letters, very important organization, alliance, here in Amador County. Behavioral health, mental illness is a serious subject, and you know, we have a wonderful county who's, you know, we're all so community oriented.
Absolutely.
We know that these services are available, but I'm not quite sure, you know, where and how people find out about it would be my biggest concern. I know we have a lot of different notes to talk about, you know, political things, but, you know, how do people actually find you in these classes? I see some of them are at the hospital, some of them are at the wellness center. The wellness center is now up near the
It's on Argonaut Lane, yeah.
I saw that they moved kind of up there. And where do the classes actually take place, Kelly?
Okay, great. The family-to-family class that we were talking about earlier that starts on May 4th is at Sutter Amador Hospital, and it's actually going to be moved upstairs to the Oakview room, but if people arrive at the hospital, they'll be told where it is, or they can easily find out. So it's 9 to 2:30 with a couple of breaks. We teach, as I said, 2 classes, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And then we do our monthly family support group in the same location. So with the peer classes, the classes that are taught by people with mental illness who are in recovery, the peer-to-peer class is actually at the behavioral health department. That's already started, and we've actually gone to the 3rd week, so people were able to join up through the 2nd week. We can't offer it to them at the to join up this time, but it comes around, it'll come around again. The Connection Support Group is for people with mental illness. It's at the Sierra Wind Wellness Center, and that's a great place for anybody with mental illness to go. There are classes of all kinds. There's free lunches. Our Connection Support Group is timed so that it starts at noon, so people can have a free lunch and then go in and sit down.
And that's a new term. It was peer-to-peer, which are people with it. And then there was family-to-family, and then there's connection support groups. So that's a little bit different.
A little different. Yeah, very casual drop-in, just for people week to week, saying, how am I doing with my managing my mental illness? Here's something I'm having a problem with, and it's a lot of group support and good information. So that's we're sort of spread around town, if you will. And also, I do want to mention we have a semi-warm line. So if people call the main ATCA number, which is 223-1485,
223-1485,
and then put in extension 266, they will get NAMI Amador, and they can leave a question or a concern, and somebody will call them back within 24 hours. So we do help a lot of people that way.
Well, it's very responsive. I come from the Bay Area and grew up in San Francisco, and you know, the difference in mental health down there, I think, is very different than what I'm seeing here in Amador County, in that you mentioned the term drop-in. And just come on by. Just come on by. You have a problem, you might have an interest, you need a class, just drop on by. But down in the Bay Area, you know, if you don't have great medical insurance, and, you know, if you have bipolar problems or something, the only way that you can get help most of the time is to, you know, get arrested or have the police, they call it 5051 or something, you know.
5150.
5150 or something, you know, you need to kind of go through this process in order to get help or medications and things. And it seems like in Amador County, you know, we're making it a little bit more accessible, which is important.
Yeah, I will say that we were talking earlier about the decline in funding for mental health services that the Mental Health Services Act doesn't quite make up for. So I will say that there are lots fewer services, and it's harder to get them, even in Amador County. You know, if you have Medi-Cal or certain other kinds of insurance and you're very low income, you can make an appointment and for an evaluation and see the psychiatrist, you know, get your medications, have your services through the behavioral health department. But that doesn't cover a lot of people with mental illness. So there are those situations where people don't have insurance, or they have the wrong kind, they can't really get the help that they need.
It's not a situation where people are just coming without mental illness and being served and taken care of. It's a lot like my wife's situation. I don't think in all of the people who she's helped get Social Security and disability, I don't think there's a single one of them that didn't pay into the system or deserve it after you go through that process.
Exactly.
So, I think that, we always think, well, we don't want them to think Amador County is the place to come to get your help for mental illness, but, people who really are suffering and need help, it benefits them to have an organization like yours and all these different partner groups to come to be screened through. And if they merit the help and assistance, then they should be getting it. And the more people that we treat, obviously, the better the outcome.
Yeah, and we hope that people can get back into the world, that's the goal, and live productive lives and have families, and
wouldn't that be?
it's the goal that everyone who's involved in mental health is seeking now, which is so different from if you go back to the 1970s when the idea was that person has mental illness, send them off somewhere, and maybe they don't get to rejoin society. So. It's not a great system. We certainly need more funding, statewide, nationally, locally, but the concepts are a big improvement.
Well, we're coming a long way in terms of our understanding, and obviously mental illness is not something that goes away, and for a lot of families, they experience a problem in, say, a younger child or a teenager or something, and then it goes for a year or two without a problem.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden it comes up again, and the kind of episodic, with the episodes.
It's chronic. It's chronic. It's really,
So knowing where to go and what type of treatment that they can get, it must be a great comfort to them to know that the organization like yours is here.
Well, thank you.
And where to go and how to get it, and then once they do experiencing it, the family-to-family classes, I would recommend everybody to attend because it's just really you're much more capable of providing help to someone and someone's family. People are I've raised kids of my own, and their friends have had experiences, and as a parent, you think, well, they're not my kids, and I can't help raise somebody else's kids, and you don't know quite where to go, where to recommend them to go, or what type of help they might seek out, and so knowing about all these organizations is important.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a big walk.
Well, we see now we aren't totally serious.
Yes,
we do have fun.
There's fun to be had. You can even jog if you like.
So that's coming.
Yeah.
This is the Northern California NAMI Walk, and we are the tiny county out of 5 other big counties that are participating. But you know how Amador is. Amador is a very giving place. So we have 2 little teams, and one of those teams is in the top 10 of fundraisers. I think there are 115 teams. Wow. Last year we were 7th and 8th in fundraising. Great. So we're small but mighty.
Yeah.
And everybody it's a great day in William Land Park. People show up, and some people skate, some people walk, some people bring many dogs, some people bring their babies in strollers. It's just great.
What is the date on that?
It is this Saturday, April 27th, and it starts at 10 o'clock, and it's a brisk 3 rounds around part of the golf course, and nobody has to do all 3. And it's over, and in our group we're going to have a picnic with all of our members and friends, and
that sounds fun.
So we'll just have a great time.
Well, you can get out there this Saturday in Sacramento and do the walk. And have the picnic, and then make it back to Jackson, because we have Hot Jazz, Mother Lode Hot Jazz is Saturday.
Well,
so that's a big event for
it's
us.
Also the duck race,
yes,
too.
The duck race is
we are competing with the duck race.
Well, there are a lot of events this time of the year. They kind of overlap. But I managed to get around quite a few.
I do want to say one thing that's great about this walk is it's not all about fundraising. Maybe I'm too competitive. Right. I always think of fundraising, but it's also, the idea is to really stand up and show that people with mental illness can have a good time, are out there, they're very public. It really is about reducing the stigma. It's kind of the main reason we do it. So there are about 1,800 people that show up. It's a big event, and last year it raised $180,000. So it also,
that is a big event, yeah.
And 60% of that money comes back to the counties that raised it. So we've used that money from last year, and we will again this year, for training and sending people to all kinds of educational experiences so that they're better prepared to move ahead and also can teach our classes. So
right,
yeah,
and stay involved and make it's progressive.
Right,
it's a progressive thing. Well, I'm sure that people, when they come to you, especially, they're in good hands, professionally speaking. You obviously are very committed to the service, and we look at all these different services throughout the county, and we try to support them, and anything that we can do here at TSPN, that's what we're here for. We really want to get the word out and help you. You don't have to speak all the time in little places to 10 people. You can reach quite a few people
Absolutely.
at once.
No, I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, that's really that's what's really important. And I just want to make sure we covered everything. I'm always kind of looking through my notes, but I think just overall, people need to realize that people with mental illness are not necessarily the people that are becoming violent and all these things that you see in the news. They're less likely than other people who are really.
Yeah, I think we say that people with mental illness are no more likely to do something violent. They just get more bad press. So.
All right. Yeah. Well, we're going to have to wrap it up. Kelly, thank you so much for coming on the show and here at TSPN, and you're always welcome back at any time.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.